everybody. This is Stuart Jean coming back at you from Musicians Institute, Hollywood, California, with Drum Magazine. For January 2020, we are looking at what I call working man's Latin grooves. Nothing too heavy here. There's a lot of information out there, and I'm just going to give you sort of my take on how to get started on some of these feels. We're looking at Samba today from Brazil. We have it's a 2-bar pattern basically. We have a clave pattern, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so some downbeats, some upbeats. Okay, what I would first have you do, because Samba doesn't have to be super complicated. Sometimes it's almost more of a disco-y kind of beat, where there's like disco samba. But let's start with 2 hands on the hi-hat and just play 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. And then we're gonna play that pattern on top of it, accent it. 1, 2, here we go. Okay, that's your clave pattern over, just a template of 8ths or 16ths, however you're counting it. Then we want to add the bass drum pattern, traditional bass drum pattern. Is that we don't want to be too quiet on the first note and super loud. We don't want that happening. Okay, obviously there's a lot of discussions out there on how this should be felt, how it should be played, and all that. I'm just keeping it straight down the middle. I'm not bending it too much or implying any triplets or anything like that. I think we just start straight down the middle, get a hold on that, and then you can manipulate it from there if you feel it's necessary. So we're going to put those 2 parts together. We're going to go. Okay, and that could be your samba right there. It could be that simple. If someone says this song's a samba, or let's play this song as a samba. Okay, you could start and just leave it at that. And for some of you, that might cause a problem already, just getting those left hand upbeats against that bass drum pattern. So good exercise. Start slow. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a voice. We're going to move up to the ride cymbal. And we're just going to play 1, 2, 1, 2. Toggle between the bell and the surface of the cymbal with the tip. Okay, that's going to go up on top. We're going to do our same bass drum pattern, and now our clave pattern that we had over here is going to now take over on the left hand on the side stick. Two, 1, 2. You want to make sure that this is projected and clear. You don't want the bell to be too loud. You definitely don't want the bass drum to be too heavy. All right. And then the last little bit to just make it a little more interesting is we'll add just stay relaxed there. If you're not used to playing the bell, you don't need to have a lot of motion between the tip surface and the bell. It's really just a flick of the wrist. And with all those parts together, we have Another thing you could do is once you get comfortable with it, you could get away from the side stick sound. Let's say you're in more of a jazz setting, improvisational setting. Then the snare drum could be played, instead of the side stick, we could just play. All right, you can do that, and then you could, pull out some reading exercises, syncopation, or the Gary Chester New Breed book, and you could just sort of work on your independence under this. Okay, so that's also something you can always get into to expand your abilities. But that's your basic samba. I'm going to play it out to a track and just sort of start on the hi-hat and move on up to this ride cymbal pattern. So thanks everyone for checking it out. We got a couple more coming up. Thanks. See ya.